All right, everybody, happy Thursday. Good news on the horizon. A new DREAM Act going to be talked about the week of March 15th in the House. It's not necessarily completely new because it's the same person that's been sponsoring it for the last 20 years, reintroducing it, but it is different than the Senate bill that we talked about last time from Senator Durbin. So today I want to review, we're going to do English first, then we'll move over to Spanish. I want to review what is in this House DREAM Act bill that's going to be heard next week, and the difference between the Senate, who qualifies, who doesn't qualify. Very important things to know because within these pieces of legislation, one sentence can change thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lives. So if you're interested in this or you know someone that might be interested, as always, do me the favor, give us a share, give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube if you're watching, always appreciated. So let's take a look here at what we got. Here is the beautiful new bill, right? So beautiful, so nice, looking fresh and clean. We love it. We love to see this, how awesome it is to get another DREAM Act introduced. So let's go over the tidbits, right? This has come from Representative Roybal Allred is the main sponsor, Congresswoman Velasquez and Clark also co-sponsoring. So the DREAM Act would give permanent resident status conditionally for up to 10 years if you've been physically present in the U.S. since on or before January 1, 2021. First difference between this and Senator Durbin's bill. Senator Durbin's bill, pop quiz, how many years did you have to be here before it passed? 4, right? 4 years you had to be here. This one just says no. As long as you were here before January 1, 2021, you meet the first requirement. So in the very first requirement, the House bill is looking better than the Senate bill. Now let's keep going down to number 2. Number 2, you were 18 years or older, younger, at the time you entered the United States of America. Number 2 on the quiz, what does Senator Durbin's bill say about the age? This is a huge difference. It says you were under 18 years of age. So this one says 18 years or younger, which there's going to be, I've already talked with a lot of people that say, oh, I came in when I was 18. And I have to say, sorry, under Senator Durbin's DREAM Act, you wouldn't qualify. Guess what? Under Congresswoman Roybal Allard's bill, you qualify if you're 18. So that's another plus. So the first 2 criteria we're already seeing 2 pluses for the congressional representatives here from the House over our friends in the Senate. Goes down the same ones, not inadmissible on criminal, security and terrorism, smuggling, student visa, ineligibility for citizenship, polygamy, international child abduction. You don't want to be involved in any of this stuff. Just don't do it, right? Unlawful voting, former citizens who renounce citizenship to avoid taxation, persecution. And one I wanted to talk about specifically, very similar to the Senate bill, can't have a felony unless it's related to immigration. You can't have 3, and here's one that I want to point out. This is their fact sheet that they send out themselves. So you can't have 3 or more misdemeanors for which you got 90 days or more, or crime of domestic violence. So this is also different than the Senate. So I wanted to confirm, before I go on Facebook Live, being a criminal immigration guru over here, I want to make sure I'm giving you the right info. So I went back to the bill, right? Here's the Senate bill, we reviewed that one. Here's the House bill. And then you go down to page number 8, where they talk about the criminal consequences. And here you can go, I'll put a link to this as well, so you can go and read the entire thing, because before you advocate for it, you must understand. And before you want to change it, you must understand it. So there we go. Page number 8, grounds of ineligibility. It's very similar, any felony offense, right? Unless it was immigration status, minor traffic offense, 3 or more misdemeanors. And here I have some good language on cannabis related, if it wasn't unlawful or isn't unlawful anymore, and civil disobedience, good language on that as well. But I don't see anything here about the 90 days. The Senate one did, and I thought that was amazing, because for DACA right now, it's 3 or more misdemeanors. Doesn't say anything about time served. The Senate bill specifically said served an aggregate of over 90 days. That's a huge change, ladies and gentlemen. That's huge. There's a lot of people, if they have 3 or more misdemeanor convictions, don't necessarily have 90 days because it wasn't anything significant. However, under DACA, they're disqualified. Under the Sentencing Dream Act, they're not because they didn't serve 90 days. Here, they're telling me in the bullet points, 90 days or more. But here in the bill, like, did they just, I don't know. Did they forget to take that part out or add that part in because it probably wasn't in the bill before, but it's in the Senate bill now? I'm not sure, but we need to get that clarified because that's going to make a difference to tens of thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people that are trying to get the DREAM Act. So that is the difference, main differences, right, on the eligibility for the DREAM Act for dreamer folks. The other huge difference between the Senate and this House bill is that this one also includes TPS and deferred enforcement, right? So those two areas open up for a whole lot more people, TPS and DED recipients within this bill. If this one individually passes, it's not just you were 18 years or younger and came in before January 1 of this year. It's also if you're TPS or DED. It does some good things there. Says TPS is an admission, as we have here in the Ninth Circuit, so it makes it easier for people to adjust across the country, not just here in Arizona. But those were the major ones that I wanted to point out, differences that people need to be aware of. Again, the good news is we're hearing this will get some discussion the week of March 15th by our representatives. So some good stuff going on out there. Hopefully it passes. Of course, any questions, comments, or concerns you have, please drop them down below. And as always, we'll get to the questions. If you're not watching on live, don't worry, we can get to them later as well. All right? So ya voy a cambiar a inglés, pero como siempre, si tiene preguntas, ponga aquí en los comentarios. Let me know, folks. Always love to hear where you're watching from. Drop down a word, a comment or something so I know who's here. Always appreciate that. And let's make sure that we get either one of these versions passed so that we can have the long needed reform we've been waiting for over 20 years. Does this mean that the larger immigration bill will not get heard soon? More than likely. I mean, that's the general consensus we're seeing from people saying, look, at the huge bill Biden sent over, probably not going to get done anytime soon, likely to be done piecemeal, probably starting with this DREAM Act that we're talking about today. All right? So, comunidad, ya estamos aquí hablando del DREAM Act. Esta vez estamos enfocando en la propuesta de la Cámara de Representantes. Ellos tienen otra versión del Acta de Sueños que es un poco diferente de la versión que revisamos con el senador Durbin en el Senado. Las diferencias principales viene siendo una persona está elegible si entró antes del 1 de este año. Bajo la propuesta del senador Durbin, tuvo que tener 4 años aquí en el país. Bajo los representantes no está todo bien, ¿verdad? Antes del 1 de enero de 2021 estás bien y puede aplicar si también tuvo 18 años o menos cuando entró al país. El propuesta del senador Durbin tuvo que tener 17 años o menos cuando entró al país. No hay límite de edad como está en DACA. So, sí está un poco mejor en este aspecto. Está más amplio, hay más personas que pueden aplicar porque hay personas que entró de 18 años, no de 17 o menos, y hay gente que entró en los últimos 2 o 3 años y no tienen 4 años aquí. So, por ese aspecto está mejor, por los que tiene o que entró cuando ellos eran jóvenes. También es mejor porque incluye los de TPS y los de DED, ¿verdad? Lo que tiene eso, protección, también puede estar en el camino de la residencia condicional y después a la ciudadanía. Por esas veces está un poquito mejor que la versión que revisamos en el Senado. ¿Okay? Sí, claro que sí, nuestro placer, buenas noticias, excelentes noticias, noticias que hemos esperado tanto tiempo de escuchar y ojalá la semana que viene o el 15, esta semana del 15, ellos pasan eso para que lo pueda ir al Senado. So if they pass and signed by Biden, how long will they take to implement? Great question. I think if you look back at something like DACA, it was August when they got the applications out, and I think it was June when the announcement was made, if I'm not mistaken. So it took them about 2 months to do the turnaround the application. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I'm remembering, to get the applications out. This one will probably take longer. So I'm guessing probably like a 6-month range or so before they develop the applications, get everything out, have everything ready for things to be sent over. But it'll take a while for them to formulate, because it will be a new form. The questions that they're asking here, they're not going to be able to just use the DACA application. It's going to have to be a new form that goes over specific criminal issues that are different than what we have on DACA right now. So hopefully it doesn't take them that long, but let's set a goal for them of 6 months within passing that they're able to have applications ready for us to send off. All right? So si ustedes tienen preguntas, por favor ponga aquí en los comentarios. Yo voy a hacer el misión de contestar todos. Es difícil para decirle porque ya estamos con esos videos, mucha gente lo están viendo y yo intento cada semana de revisar todos los comentarios y contestar y ojalá yo pueda seguir haciendo eso. En ese aspecto también ya no tenemos las consultas gratis. Es muy difícil para mí para decir eso, pero tenemos demasiado personas que lo están marcando y desafortunadamente no tengo el tiempo de trabajar en los casos que tenemos y a la misma vez tener las consultas gratis, pero yo sí siento muy mal de eso, pero es un problema bueno porque hay mucha gente que sabe que somos abogados de confianza y nuestra palabra vamos a siempre decir la verdad y no decir cosas nada más para que usted siente mejor. ¿Okay? Pero nos marca si ustedes quieren 602-910-4040. ¿Cuáles serían los requisitos que amplían los requerimientos para aplicar para DACA? Se está preguntando para DACA original, ¿verdad? El DACA original sigue siendo, y es el problema con muchas personas ahorita que nos marca, desafortunadamente si no tiene desde 2007 aquí, si entró en 2010, 2009, 2013, no puede aplicar por DACA. Tuvo que tener 16 años o menos cuando entró al país, tuvo que estar aquí desde 15 de junio 2007, no tener una felonía, no tener 3 delitos menores, no tener un caso de DUI, de violencia doméstica, y estar en la escuela, en la prepa, un GED, o ya graduó de la escuela. Esos son los requisitos básicos de DACA. Y la mayoría de las llamadas que hemos recibido bajo ese programa de DACA son para personas que sí podían aplicar si pasa uno de esos actos que estamos hablando en el Senado o en la Cámara de Representantes del DREAM Act, porque entraron cuando tenían menos de 18 años y tiene más de 4 años aquí, pero desafortunadamente no aplican por DACA porque no entró desde 2007. Tanto tiempo que ha pasado desde 2007. Estamos hablando de mucha gente que entró en los 13 años que tenemos de 2007 hasta aquí. ¿Okay? Estos son los requisitos básicos para DACA y todavía puede aplicar, ¿verdad? Todavía puede aplicar. Es una cosa que yo he hablado con varias personas y el beneficio de tener DACA, si pasa una de esas leyes, es que usted ya va a hacer como un camino más rápido a la residencia condicional o también puede aplicar como primera vez, pero si tiene DACA sí lo está dando un beneficio de ser residente permanente condicional más rápido. Okay? Will you break down the other differences? I am happy to, Osia. Let's do this, man. Wonderful question. Will you break down the other differences, or is that the main difference? Those are the main differences. Now, if you guys can help me out, get me to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube, on the tube. We're like 600 right now, so I'm going to watch it. If we can get it up to 1,000, I'll go a line by line difference between the House and the Senate version to get that out. That'll take me quite a few hours to go through and create the differences, but I'm happy to do it. So Ociel, if you can do me a favor, head over to the YouTube. I don't know if you have a YouTube station, but give me a subscribe, get that up to 1,000, and we'll get that video out, my man. Exciting news coming on another front that you'll be excited to hear about. Talk with Aaron, but we won't talk about that yet today, but some good stuff coming out on that as well, all right? Hopefully we'll be doing a video on that in the next couple of weeks. Pero eso es el acta de sueños que estamos hablando, diferencia del Senado y la Cámara de Representantes. Diferencias más grandes es el Senado tuvo que tener 17 años o menos, en la Cámara de Representantes es 18 años o menos cuando entró el país. El Senado tuvo que tener 4 años aquí. Cámara de Representantes es nada más que llegó el año pasado o antes. Eso es una cosa buena. También estoy pidiendo calificación de esos congresistas sobre los requisitos de récord criminal, pero lo que ellos anunciaron es que no tener una felonía o no tener 3 delitos menores con más de 90 días en la cárcel. Ojalá lo puedan clarificar, porque yo estoy leyendo como es nada más 3 delitos menores, que no es de desobediencia civil, que no es relacionado a marihuana, si marihuana está legal en su estado. Pero eso estoy pidiendo clarificación antes que ellos hagan el debate el 15 de marzo, la semana del 15 de marzo. Ojalá tenemos respuesta de eso. Okay. Saludos, feliz cumpleaños. Hoy también es cumpleaños de mi suegro. Si ustedes tienen tiempo ir a José Alfredo Maldonado y decirle feliz cumpleaños, eso lo agradezco. Y a lo que usted se refiere, de lo que usted habla, no se amplia para los Dreamers. Perdón, no sé exactamente lo que usted está hablando, pero para los Dreamers, eso es exactamente lo que estamos hablando hoy. Todo eso, ¿verdad? Todo esos menos de 18 años que entró es camino a la residencia condicional, después a la ciudadanía. All right? Otra pregunta aquí. Abogado, tengo salida voluntaria y mi caso está en apelación. ¿Se puede hacer algo con los de prioridades de deportaciones? Tengo esposo ciudadano y tengo aprobado I-130. Muy buena pregunta. Una persona que tiene la I-130 aprobado, para mí significa que no entró con visa, ¿verdad? Porque si entró con visa, si era lo que se llama 245I, que alguien puso petición para usted o sus papás antes de 2001, o si su esposo estaba en el ejército, podía arreglar en frente del juez. Probablemente pidió 42B o no tuvo 10 años cuando estaba en frente del juez y lo dieron salida voluntaria. Normalmente y tengo que saber todos los detalles de su caso antes de dar aviso bueno, pero normalmente lo que nosotros hacemos en un caso así es pedimos también lo que se llama el perdón, el 601A, si usted es elegible, ¿verdad? Tenemos que probar daño extremo a su esposo y si le dan aprobación de eso, realmente no es mal de salir a su país de origen, porque cuando va a una cita a pedir que usted pueda regresar. Ojalá usted sí es elegible para ser residente permanente. Ojalá podamos ganar lo que se llama el perdón, el 601A. Y cuando usted regresa a su país, regresamos nada más para que usted tiene su entrevista en el consulado y todo positivo y usted regresa. Pero márcanos para que yo pueda confirmar. Recuerda, si dieron salida voluntaria, es muy importante que usted pague la fianza que puso el juez de 500 y 150, lo que pusieron, y manda prueba de eso con su apelación para que todavía tiene la oportunidad de asilo voluntaria si no gana su caso en apelación. So, márcanos y con gusto yo le puedo revisar todo su caso y a ver qué puede hacer. Okay? We got here, my asylum case is pending. Do I have to cancel my asylum application to apply for DREAM Act? No. You should go win your asylum, take it home, get that W, get that victory on your asylum, and not even worry about the DREAM Act. But if the DREAM Act does happen, I would recommend that you also apply for that. It's way too early right now for us to be canceling anything that you're already in the process of. You know, still go forward with the asylum application. Hopefully you're still at the USCIS level. You know, you get your interview with USCIS and that just gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, then you want to reserve the right to appeal that to the immigration judge. And hopefully before then, we have the DREAM Act passed. So I always want to throw all the arguments I can at the government to say someone should be able to stay here and keep going forward with the asylum. If the DREAM Act passes, apply for that. Whichever one wins first, that is the winner chicken dinner. But don't worry about canceling asylum at any point whatsoever. That's my opinion. All right. Saludos a ustedes. Feliz cumpleaños al suegro. Gracias. Eso es lo que estamos hablando hoy. Puro cosas felices. Cumpleaños, acta de sueños, cosas positivas que queremos ver por la comunidad. Ojalá este 15 de marzo, la semana, los demócratas pongan esas propuestas. Lo pueden poner porque pasaron antes. Esa ley de acta de sueños que estamos hablando, una versión pasó antes en la Cámara de Representantes. No hay razón para que no debe pasar otra vez. Debe pasar sin ir a comité, sin cambiar mucho. Ir ahí, votos, pasarlo al Senado. El Senado también debe hacer sus cambios que necesitan, pasarlo. Después va a la mesa del presidente Biden para que él firma. Y ya este año aplicamos por el DREAM Act. Ojalá, ¿verdad? Yes. Yes, 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 Ociel. Let me see if I can get your comment up here. Sounds good. On the other hand, go Suns. What an amazing year in the Valley we're having right now. J.J. Watt coming to town. The Suns on a roll. They just invited me to open house on Saturday. Let me see if I can make that. Go Suns, go Cardinals, and go Devils. Starting up baseball season. Basketball season still going strong. Lots of good things going on here in the Valley. Eso es lo que quería hablar hoy, comunidad, sobre el acta de sueños. Otra vez, si tienen más comentarios, si tienen más preguntas, ponga ahí en los comentarios para que nosotros podamos explicar. Let's see what we got here. Hola, abogado, ¿puedo repetir los requisitos para aplicar primera vez para DACA? Claro que sí, Lupita, mi placer. Gracias por nos estar viendo ahí en YouTube. Los requisitos para DACA es una persona que tuvo que tener 16 años o menos cuando entró al país. Y el problema recientemente también tuvo que estar aquí desde 2007. 15 de junio 2007 hasta aquí, sin salir. Breve puede salir, pero ellos quieren que usted tiene lo que se llama continuous residence aquí. Estar en una prepa, graduó la prepa, tiene su GED, está estudiando por su GED. No tiene una felonía o no tiene 3 delitos menores, ¿verdad? O un delito menor significado, que es un DUI, violencia doméstica, otros delitos menores. Pero los principales es, y lo que yo he visto, la mayoría de gente que no pueden, es que tiene de 15 de julio de 2007 hasta aquí viviendo. Y es mucho trabajo también. Todos los que tiene DACA lo pueden decirle, tanto batalló para agarrar documentos de 2007 aquí, probando que no ha salido del país. El bueno del acta de sueños que estamos hablando hoy es que esos requisitos y cambien drásticamente. En vez de estar aquí en 2007, el propuesta de la Cámara de Representantes es estar aquí antes del 1 de este año. El Senado es que tiene más de 4 años viviendo aquí cuando pasa la ley. Eso significa que hay millones de jóvenes que ahorita no pueden aplicar por DACA, y mucha gente no sabe eso. Piensa que, DACA existe, DACA está aquí para proteger los niños. Yo he hablado con una sala de niños llenos en la prepa. Ningún tuvo DACA porque no entró antes de 2007. Están graduando mucha gente sin un permiso de trabajo, aunque ellos llegaron cuando eran muy jóvenes y deben tener un permiso de trabajo. Por eso es tan importante que tenemos el DREAM Act y que lo pasa ahorita, pronto, rápido, ¿verdad? All right, Hugo, what's going on, man? You're applying for DACA for the first time. Would me being my parents' taxes as a minor count as proof of residency for a whole year? Definitely. So definitely it counts, Hugo. That's a good document to enter. Anytime we're sending off anything to immigration, we check and double check taxes at least 2 times to make sure there's no problem with Social Security numbers that are on there. So we always want to make sure when we're sending something off. For this application, we're also thinking about applications for whoever we're involving in the process down the road, right? But that's proof of your presence. But immigration is probably going to want to see more. For instance, if it's, you're on the taxes from 2008, they're still going to want to see documents throughout the year that you were continuously present. Just think of it as one document to show that you were here at a certain point in time, but don't think it's going to excuse them from saying, you don't need to give me anything else for the rest of the year. My rule of thumb is try for one document every 3 months. One document that says January, February, and March, one document that says April, May, or June, et cetera, throughout the year. And that's the bare minimum, I'm saying, right? The more you can get, the better. We have seen more recently, DACAs them being scrutinized and making sure that the continuous presence is proven, and it's starting to get a little bit more difficult on that. So whatever you can do, keep getting them up there. Mi placer, Donnie. And Hugo, of course, brother, my pleasure, and best of luck to you. Oh, and there's lots of groups out there that they're willing to help out, review packets. I know there's Keep Phoenix Together here, Arizona Dream Act Coalition, Aliento, if you're here in Arizona, organizations to reach out to for assistance with that as well. We're doing them as well, so you're welcome to call us. But that is essentially the DACA requirements for documentation. One document before 16 and a whole lot of documents from 2007 until here. All right? That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Keep the questions coming. As long as you keep the questions coming in, I'll keep answering them. As a reminder, we are charging for consults now. I said that earlier. I'm sorry. I just feel bad about it. But if you can ask me here, I'm happy to answer. Again, if it's private, send me a message. You don't want any of your private details in public. But we will definitely do as much as we can to get them answered in the time that we have. Oh, horrible. El perdón me negaron porque mi caso no está cerrado administrativamente. Okay, that's so. Yo no pienso que ellos debían negar su aplicación de residencia por no tener su caso cerrado administrativo. Pero el perdón, ellos debían de todos modos dar una decisión. No pueden dar decisión sobre la aplicación de la residencia porque el juez tiene la jurisdicción de eso. Pero el juez no tiene jurisdicción sobre el 601A. Es nada más USCIS. Sí nos marca, eso para mí es muy interesante que ellos están haciendo esa posición en su caso. No me gusta eso absolutamente por nada. Okay? And I'm an asylum seeker, worked before in farm 2 years, so I can change my status, I can apply for a farm worker. Yeah, so interesting things that we're going to see probably in the week of March 15th. In addition, we're just talking about DREAM Act today, but we're probably going to see something related to farm workers as well. That's my hope, at least, that we also see a farm worker bill. And if that starts picking up some traction, we'll definitely do a more detailed video on that. And as I said earlier, keep up with your asylum case. There's no reason to abandon that for any reason whatsoever. And don't just switch to one thing. I always tell people, if you have multiple routes that you can get to legal status, take all of those until one wins. Just the other day I saw one that people thought was going to win one way, it didn't. They weren't prepared in the other roads, and it's in a difficult situation now. So keep taking all the paths that you can until you get that victory that you want. All right? So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the update. DREAM Act going strong, continue to move forward. Hopefully we get some action on that in March 15th, and we're pushing folks to make it a reality. We have a DACA. You applied December 10th, got my receipt January 20th. How long would the process take? Great question, Pascual. And it was so great to start seeing finally the receipt notices come in. Unbelievable, because they were taking a long time. I was starting to get nervous, to be quite honest with you. They were taking longer than normal to get in. Hopefully it's just more pandemic related, though we're starting to receive them now. The short answer is we don't know. Right? We're getting emails from USCIS, from the Department of State, how backed up they are because of the COVID stuff. The interviews at the consulates abroad are looking pretty dismal right now, very disappointing. Hopefully they pick it up with DACA. I've seen folks that have had them approved in 30 days from the receipt. Now, and don't quote me in that. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you. I'm not saying it's happened to anybody. I'm just saying that's the fastest one that I've seen, talking with other attorneys, talking with other folks this past month or so. So hopefully it comes sooner rather than later. Y'all remember, we're still waiting for Judge Hannon in Texas. Everybody was freaking out, including myself. Judge Hannon's getting in DACA. Judge Hannon's getting in DACA. Judge Hannon's getting. Judge Hannon, go ahead and in DACA now. Watch what happens, right? Because that's all that's needed for Congress to finally get the DREAM Act passed, is for one crazy, conservative, ridiculous judge to come out and say, I think DACA should be canceled. And I bet you he's not signing off on it fast because he knows that. And he knows he will be the one responsible for getting the DREAM Act finally passed if he's to actually in the DACA program. So Texas, with your no mask mandates, with your no nothing, what's going on with your federal judge down there? Tell your boy to issue the decision. Let's get to work on the DREAM Act. Ok, ojalá se pudieran entrar más niños en este programa con muchos niños que tienen más de 4 años acá en los Estados Unidos. Sí, pero recuerdo, la propuesta de representantes es que nada más entró antes del 1 de enero de 2021. So eso se amplia a muchas más personas. Nada más la versión del Senado es que tiene que tener más de 4 años aquí cuando pasa la propuesta. So, si pasa en junio de este año, vamos a regresar a 2017 junio, que ellos tuvo que estar aquí. So, ojalá, yo estoy de acuerdo, ojalá la versión del Congreso, congresistas pasa y el Senado se cambia para hacerlo mejor. Okay? And my both son, they're coming 12 years old, they still have heavy status asylum, so they can apply for a dreamer. So any of these bills, either the House or the Senate bill, you had to have already been here at least before January 1 of this year. Anyone that's come January 2nd until later, neither one of these acts is going to qualify for them. So they have to look for other ways. If they're already here from before January 1 of this year, or 4 years prior, if they end up with the Senate version of the bill, then they'll be able to qualify. If they're not in high school yet, there's a special program, basically kind of like a DACA, like a promise not to deport you until you're old enough to apply for the conditional residency and you meet those requirements, and then residency, then citizenship. So both bills have great protections for people no matter what their age are, but they do have to have been here before January 1 of this year. All right. And here we go. All right. My friend came to the U.S. in 2014. He was under 18 at the time. He admitted an associate's degree in computer engineering but not finished a study. He has a valid EAD now. So I do think that under any version of the DREAM Act, whether it's the Senate or whether it's the House, that your friend will be able to apply for the conditional permanent resident status if these bills pass as written. These are the exact kind of cases that we're talking about. You see, this friend would not be eligible for DACA. Not eligible for DACA because didn't come in before 2007. Came in 7 years later, was still under the age of 18, doing great stuff, working in computer engineering, computer hacker, computer hacking skills. Everybody loves that, right? But in order to qualify for this program, it needs to get passed. So we need to get this program passed so my man will be able to become a conditional, or it could be a woman, it says friend, conditional permanent resident. And my friend came with a student visa. So yes, we'll qualify for a DREAM Act. And entry doesn't matter for a DREAM Act, whether visa or no visa. Where visa matters is if you marry a U.S. citizen. So marriage to a U.S. citizen, bona fide marriage to a U.S. citizen, got to qualify that and do a whole separate video on that because I've seen some crazy stuff. That will let you adjust status here in the country with the visa. So that's always great to have the legal entry. As far as DREAM Act is concerned, it doesn't matter. Either way, someone who came in and meets those requirements should be able to apply. All right? That is Immigration 100 in a nutshell. Like I said, we got some interesting things that'll be developing in the next couple of weeks on other aspects of this larger immigration reform bill, family reunification stuff. I got to do another video soon with a friend of mine who has some awesome news for DACA recipients in Arizona. I can't wait to share that one. That's going to be so exciting. And I got another announcement coming related to something personal. Whew. Exciting week. It's March, folks. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you maybe even sooner than next week. There's so much going on. I might pop out another video soon. Take care, everybody. Hope you have a great day.